Hello friends, welcome into the Cowboys Report presented by BetDSI, the internet's #1 sportsbook. I am your host Tom Downey, and we've got some breaking news to get to here around the Dallas Cowboys. A notable re-signing, one many of you wanted to happen, one we thought was going to happen. It's a done deal. Tavon Austin has signed a 1-year contract to return to the Dallas Cowboys. Now at this point, we don't have the exact monetary details, but I'll tell you what, it's going to be a pretty cheap contract. He's not going to get a ton of money right now because his market wasn't really all that high after an injury-plagued 2018 season. I like this move quite a bit for the Cowboys. I already saw several of you in the Cowboys or in the comment section, like Cowboys Nation as well, that like the move for to bring back Tavon Austin. It gives the Cowboys depth at wide receiver, and I think maybe most importantly, in the return game. If Tavon wasn't on the roster, you had to find yourself a new receiver very, very quickly to help out with returns. So here is the updated Cowboys wide receiver depth chart. For now, we'll list Allen Hurns as the lead slot receiver. Tavon will play there as well. In reality, he's probably your number 4 overall receiver. You can have Ced Wilson maybe make an option there as well. But Cooper and Gallup remain your top 2 guys. Allen Hurns, if he actually makes the roster, he very well might not in the end, because he is still owed a potential $5 million in savings there. Tavon's back to provide depth and help out on the return game and bring the speed the Cowboys severely lack, quite frankly. Noah Brown is still there. Cedric Wilson's there. Maybe Lance Lenore or Devin Smith can step up. But remember, no Cole Beasley. Now, reminder, as I've said before, temper your expectations with Tavon Austin. He's fast, he's fun, but everywhere he's gone, he's never been the Tyreek Hill type of player that I think we would like him to be. That's just not who Tavon Austin is. But he can help on returns, he can help with speed, he can be your jet sweep guy, and every now and then he'll make a big play, but he's certainly not going to suddenly step up and become that number 8 overall pick guy that he ended up being. Now, the Cowboys have been good about re-signing some of their own guys. They've now gone out and added somebody else from a different roster. Christian Covington, who I kind of figure most of you haven't heard of. That's understandable. He was a rotational defensive lineman in the Houston Texans 3-4 scheme. Now, Covington might be back here for the Cowboys. He's not going to be a defensive end for them. He's going to be a defensive tackle. Again, 3-4 scheme versus a 4-3 scheme. Covington comes over. I like his fit here. I think he can play the 3 technique. He can play some 1 technique as well. I think in the end, he'll probably be more of a 3 technique for the Dallas Cowboys. And in limited time for the Houston Texans, he has showed some pass rushing ability. That's a big deal for me. 3.5 sacks last year in only a handful of snaps. Has several sacks throughout his NFL career, a former 6th-round pick out of Rice. I'm intrigued by the signing. I know that it's not the big name that many of you guys want to have out there. I know it's not Earl Thomas or Timmy Jernigan, which I would have loved, but I don't know if the Cowboys are going to go that route. But Covington comes in on a 1-year deal. Again, the details not yet known, but I promise you he's probably going to be pretty cheap as well. So, those are the 2 main moves. We'll get to some other ones here in a little bit. But describe the Cowboys free agency so far in 3 words or less. I see a lot of comments in there. We'll get to those here in a little bit. But describe it in 3 words or less. And we'll talk about the moves for Jamize Olawale and Fleming here in a minute. But let's get to some of these comments here, because I know there are a lot of them. We'll break them down here live on the show on YouTube and on Facebook. Anthony Meatball says he'd be impressed if they would sign Timmy Jernigan. I would too. I'd love that move. I unfortunately wouldn't expect it to go down, but if it does, I'm with you, Anthony. I'd be very impressed and happy too. ETP, and 3 words or less, says, meh, it's okay. That's pretty fair. Remember, as Tim Sykes pointed out, it's not exciting. That's not the Cowboys' MO. They don't throw out big money in free agency right now because they're going to try and re-sign their own old guys. Noah Thompson with a very accurate statement. No big names. Very, very fair. IAMK Ninja says Jerry's in hibernation. Jerry's not running free agency, guys, so I guess by definition, yeah, he is in free agency. Rona says shaking my head, or Rohan, excuse me. That's fair. Again, we tried to warn you guys. Beyond Earl Thomas, we didn't think the Cowboys were going to go after a bunch of big names. Boom Awesome says shit everywhere. It's a little maybe extreme in the end there. Or shite, whatever. It's all the same words there. It means the same exact thing. But again, keep those comments flowing there. Alan says he's happy. Maybe you guys agree, disagree. Let me know. Prodigy says trust the process. Not been the Cowboys' MO for the process. That's more of a Philadelphia thing, but I like it. I always trust the process there. Nathan says, do not overpay. That might be the single best phrase to describe the Cowboys free agency. Do not overpay. They're being more like the Seahawks, like the Patriots, and a common theme of teams that are really good that don't have a ton of money to spend in free agency. They were not going to overpay for Earl Thomas when he signed that 4-year, $55 million deal. They weren't going to throw big money at him. So keep those comments coming, folks. We'll get some more here throughout the show, plus a live Q&A later on as well. Some other re-signings here by the Dallas Cowboys. Jamize Olawale is back with a 3-year, $5.4 million deal. About 2.8 of that is guaranteed. Now, Olawale didn't make much of an impact on offense. That's not his main goal, though. Olawale's top impact is going to be on special teams. He's an above-average player there. The Cowboys, frankly, need more help overall in that position. You bring back a key special teams player and a guy that will get you a couple snaps on defense for less than $2 million a year. That's not the worst. Now, Olawale, my only thing for you, don't drop the touchdown pass next time. Just throwing that one out there because that kind of killed us earlier in the season. All right. The other big re-signing here by the Cowboys is Cameron Fleming. Now, you guys know I'm not the world's biggest Cam Fleming fan, but he was good enough last year. When Tyron Smith went down, he was better than he was in the preseason. It wasn't a disaster. It's a 2-year deal worth, emphasis here, by the way, up to $8.5 million. What that means is he's not going to get the full $8.5 million. I think it's going to look more like what he signed for last year. Maybe it's around $3.5 million per year with some incentives as well. It's a smart move by the Cowboys, even though, I don't love Cam Fleming. Who was your other swing tackle? You're going to bring up Jake Campos? Absolutely not. So in a world where Bobby Hart makes $7 million a year, to get Cam Fleming for $2 and up to $8.5, that's a good pickup in my eyes. So the Cowboys have solidified that swing tackle spot. You can still look for somebody in the draft, but the Cowboys' main goal here right now is to not go into the draft with a screaming need somewhere. It's no longer a swing tackle. It's no longer a receiver. Defensive tackles had some edge help, but they've made some moves there. So grade the Cowboys free agency so far. A, B, C, D, or F. I'll check the comments here for you guys. Let me know. A, B, C, D, or F. Johnny Lopez says D. Adrian Kroll says C. Concrank123 says C. Jamie says C. Alan says B. Ooh, there's our first F. Juan says F. Wyatt B. I see a lot of C's, couple D's, couple B's, couple F's there. I kind of sit in the C category. Cowboys Nation says A. I'm in the C range. It's maybe underwhelming is the word, but the big caveat for me, we'll get to this later on in the show, just make sure you pay DeMarcus Lawrence. I'll feel a lot better than about the Cowboys range. There's more and more F's flow in here. Reikendale says my grade for us is S for sucks. Oh, there it is. Producer Harris had the exact same mindset that I had there. I think the C's are winning. Tell you what, make sure you're subscribed to youtube.com/Dallas Cowboys Report. Later on today, I'll put a poll up on the channel, and we'll see what the actual scientific results there are. We had another poll up earlier there, but I think the C's are winning. That's my main takeaway there. So again, folks, for those of you who are just now joining us, the Cowboys have made some free agency moves. Tavon Austin has come in on a 1-year deal. We don't know the exact money on that yet, but it's a 1-year deal for Tavon Austin, a 1-year deal for Christian Covington as well. Now, today's show is brought to you by BetDSI, the internet's #1 sportsbook. Head over to chatsports.com/bet and use that promo code right there, Cowboys120, for a 120% deposit bonus. You put down $50 and BetDSI is going to give you $60 for free. It's the best deal out there. Chatsports.com/bet, promo code Cowboys120. Make some money around free agency. Ooh, and it's March Madness too. It's the perfect time to start betting on sports. Let's quickly recap those signings here just real fast, then we'll get into the rumors for you guys as well that we have planned for you. First up, Tavon Austin, a 1-year deal. I keep checking my phone. Details not yet known on that one, but it's probably going to be a cheap signing. Christian Covington comes over from the Houston Texans, a 1-year deal. Details also not not yet known, probably cheap, was a 3-4 defensive end. He'll play on the interior for the Cowboys, can play 1 technique and the 3 technique. Stay tuned later on in the week, and on my Twitter at @WhatGoingDowney. I'll post some play gifs of him, and we'll try and do a scouting breakdown film study on Covington as well. And then some of the older moves at fullback/special teams. Jamize Olawale comes in on a 3-year, $5.4 million deal. And then maybe one of the better ones the Cowboys have done, which isn't exactly a very high bar. Cam Fleming comes on a 2-year deal worth up to $8.5. Again, that up to is the key there. He's probably not going to get that full amount. But when Bobby Hart gets $7 million, who sucks, this is a fine deal for Cam Fleming to be a swing tackle.